beautiful morning because just yesterday, 23 of the girls that were abducted in Niger, they were returned. Yes, the country is reeling from that joy, but then lots of questions are being asked, you know, around the country. But today, yes, we are back to serve you the headlines, making the rounds on the faces of the dailies, bringing you quality analysis on some of the topical issues that we're going to be doing. Temitope Ajijalaoluola is my name. Super glad to have you here.
Right.
Temi, good morning.
Thank you very much. How do you do?
How do you do?
Very well. Femi Ojo is my name, and it gives me great pleasure to be back here. These midweek installments of the program, actually here, Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, where we speak truth to power. We speak to critical stakeholders, starting with you, our distinguished viewers. Thank you for always making us a part of your morning routine. It is for the public good. That is why we do everything that we do here. And frank, honest, deep, sometimes uncomfortable conversations are, you know, held here. And it's towards having these projects. When you talk about project, when we talk about project, we're talking about the project Nigeria that must not fail in our hands. And we hold it a responsibility. In fact, we hold it to our constitutional responsibility, talking about the fourth estate of the realm, the media, the journalist, and that's why we are here. And we do this every day. We start by looking through the various pages, front pages of different dailies. And of course, at the other side of that, we then converse, you know, about the issues holistically, patriotically, every day, divergent opinions, the dynamics of what is happening in the country. And, you know, starting with what Dr. said, I'm sure it will be all joy for the families of the girls that were abducted in Kebbi, government girls secondary school in Maga, Danko was a local government. So we learned they have been rescued again, actually, in Kebbi State. Rescue operation in Kwara, rescue operation in Niger. We are waiting for the next rescue operation for the kids that were abducted in Niger, actually, you know, for us to add every one of them. And many questions are still begging. This rescue operation, how come it doesn't involve
arrests?
You know, arrest, no apprehension, no, you know, neutralizing of those guys. But okay, yeah, I was listening or checking, watching the presidential spokesman, Bayo Onanuga, on a particular program yesterday, where he said it was a rescue operation, actually, that has been happening, that the federal government has information on these criminals, and so they usually go after them, and knowing fully well, you know, the consequences of not submitting or releasing the girls. You know, they know it will be very dire on them. That's why they had to release all the girls, because of the pressure, coordination from the villa, the military architecture, and all of those persons. And, you know, he was asked, and the question many Nigerians have been asking is, okay, you know their coordinates, you know where they are, and it's because of the intense pressure, you know, that the abductors had no choice but to release the girls. And so because everything was against them. So when you know all of these things, how come you allowed the abduction to happen in the first place? All right, whatever technology, whatever, you know, high horse in which you wanted to write on that particular program to say, we did what we should do. So when you rescued the girls, you know, using that word actually of his now and the federal government, how come? So when they submitted the girls, you now told them, oh, you have submitted or returned the girls, release the girls, go. Give us our girls. Is that the way it works? So that they will regroup and come back another day, because something is not connected. How can the presidential spokesman who speaks for the president said it was because of the intense pressure put on these abductors that they had no, you know, choice but to release the girls. So when they released the girls, all of them, you told them, don't do it again. Go back to where you are coming from. Is that the way Nigeria works? Somebody has picked up arms against the state, kidnapped children, and you said, give us our children. You know you had no choice. So let me beat you again. Go. That's the way it works. Really, we joke too much in this nation, and you know, it's not just connecting. Maybe it's me, but it's not just connecting.
What would it be you?
Yeah.
Well, another sad news yesterday where in Kwara again, right? A pregnant woman and 10, children were also abducted again. So many issues.
Some other reports
as you're getting
like 2 pregnant women. Yeah.
So different, reportings, and then but same issues of abduction. It's more like when they get back some of the children, they take another in replacement, from different other areas. And there was also another scare. I think something about Abia again, another, insurgency. So it is now fast spreading. Just about in the space of a month, we're having this widespread, and it's covering different regions now. It used to be in
less than 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks.
We're having
like 11 days.
Yeah.
Actually, that's where we are. And this rescue that we have been having, according to Bayo Nonu guys, because of the intense pressure and the coordination from the federal government arms that those girls have been released.
And
so what happened to them?
Truly were intense pressure from somewhere.
Yeah.
We should not be having spades and series of abductions. Like always, we're having reprisals.
Yeah.
Once it means that once you made us mad, we're taking other ones.
The Eruku abductees were released. Then the Borno teenage girls were abducted. The Kebbi girls were, rescued.
Yeah.
Then other persons have been captured in Kwara again. Who is deceiving who? We joke too much in this nation. And that's just it. And the fact that we are not coming to terms and we are not seeing it as it is, just like we do on
there has
Western
been no accountability for
that is it.
Several administrations
Deceit.
And it's in deeper. And I think one thing we should just hold the government to is accountability. Yeah. Let's keep holding the government, down to accountability. They need to account for
why we are here.
How these operations are done, what is being done, where we are, how you're going to apprehend those people. We don't just want our children back. We want their abductors behind bars. But I don't want to go out and have scares.
At best, neutralize. You can't keep the enemy roaming around and you say you are free. Who does that? Oh, whatever you have stolen, give me back my thing.
It's more like saying that we should go to sleep when armed robbers are still in our communities.
Whatever they have stolen, my pressure has made them to release it. So let them go. And they are still in your neighborhood. That it's as easy as that. Before we hit the brakes, I remember there was a rescue, proper rescue of one American citizen like 2 years ago. That was, I think it was 2 or 1 of them, who were abducted. In I think it was in Chad rather, and they were transported to Nigeria. And what did the American government do with their soldiers? Of course, with precision, they traced them from Chad, traced them to Nigeria, did whatever they wanted to do in just like Donald Trump said, swift, vicious, fast. Actually, they got there, got their own persons, neutralized all of the abductors, every single one of them. Took their persons, went out of Nigeria. That's how to rescue.
Yeah.
Actually, they didn't just take their own person and go out. No. What they did was, you guys will never do this thing again. We forgive you, but go and meet your maker and explain the rest. Yes. That's how to do rescue. Not for them to just pick one or two of their persons.
And that's how to boast.
And go. Yeah.
That's how to boast. When you have a precise operation.
Precision.
Yes. Very, very...
no noise,
have a precise operation, and yes, you'll be able to say we did it in swift. We did it swiftly, we did it with precision, and all of those.
And fast.
That is how to
results.
Yes.
When the U.S. government went, after the 9/11, and then they went, all out against the Al Qaeda team, especially Osama bin Laden. It took them like 10 years, and the day they were going to neutralize Osama bin Laden, it was televised. Straight, no, not to the public, at the White House. The president monitored everything. The man was getting whatever was done with him. And maybe days later, the moment it was announced that Osama bin Laden has been killed, the video was released. And so there is no argument for you to know from Pakistan where it was handled to how everything was done to how they got to that point while they have been, planning for like a year. Not just a one-day thing. All the planning, but when it was done, definitely they couldn't have been
with accurate intelligence, though.
The moment it was announced and the presidency gave a go-ahead to say, yes, he has been captured, released the news, the next thing that followed is the video evidence. Everybody, in fact, it was a documentary. If you Googled it right now, you will see that particular story. That is how to rescue, and that is how to be precise. Not this kind of whatever. Well, we hope the rescue will continue with the Niger girls. Bring them back. The pregnant women and those children, please bring, if it's your rescue, bring them back and prevent other ones from happening. I realize some schools have been shut down in Abuja again right now. This is terrible, actually. But then the question is, if they are not shutting it down, does that mean we should expose them because we want to be a state and say, no, but we shut it down? If you know you are not safe, shut it down.
Even before it's shut down, maybe you stop going to school.
Because that is the issue. I realize, yes, on Wiki has authorized the shutting down of some schools in some places.
Yes, there was a scare in Nasarawa.
Yeah, so let that be done. But it shows the failure of state, actually. That our country cannot adequately protect us. And that is one thing. As we hit the papers right now, where you would know that these guys are not forgivable. They don't deserve any second chance.
No,
is when anybody in his right senses will kidnap a pregnant woman. Who touches a pregnant woman? Actually,
people without conscience, of course.
Definitely.
People who are against the state. People who are against peace.
I think it's the highest level of wickedness for you to touch a pregnant woman.
Yes, it shows
at whatever stage, and those guys are being picked up, and the federal government is still playing.
I don't think we got to talk about the one where they were saying that Nigeria is under big threat as a terrorist leader was vowing to kidnap the president himself. The audacity.
Well, I think people are doing too much on TikTok these days. Actually, I saw the one that talked about kidnapping, members of National Assembly. But then, if there's any intel or need, it should be followed. We take a quick break. When we return, we'll let you into the front pages of the papers. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Stay with us.
All right, you're welcome back to Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. We move now to the papers, the segment where we reel out some of the things happening in the world right here, and especially from the Nigerian state. I begin with the Nation newspaper right here. The banner headline says, Tinubu relieved by freedom for 24 abducted Kebbi schoolgirls. And with this rider, says here, release facilitated through non-kinetic approach. Pupils to reunite with parents today. Release facilitated through non-kinetic approach. Pupils to reunite with parents today. And Femi, if I understand what non-kinetic means, it means without any operation at all. Probably there was dialogue or something.
Without force.
And then the children came back home. And it says here that pupils are to reunite with parents today. It's just what we've been talking about.
Yeah, no kind of.
How did you
that means there was a dialogue.
Exactly.
Who dialogues with an abductor?
You can dialogue. Dialogue is allowed, but you don't negotiate, right?
So what's the dialogue about?
Yes, release the girls.
Okay.
You tell them.
And go your way.
When it happens that you dialogued or that you just had, the pressure, you put pressure on them to return the girls. It means that you said it, that they said they know the exact coordinates or something.
Even Gumi knows where they are.
So
I think we have gone beyond the level of we don't know
where they are. No. So what stopped you from moving in and employing kinetic approach? I mean, what happened to apprehension? What happened to neutralization?
When you're talking about,
you really don't even have to. You don't have to go there, right? You can drop something on them.
Well,
you can do that after the release of the girls. So what exactly is happening?
Let's go ahead.
Non-kinetic approach.
Dialogue.
I don't think we're serious as a nation. And then it says here that the president is relieved. As the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, I'm shocked that apart from the release of the girls, there should be one thing foremost on your heart. I mean, that should be impressing on your heart. It's how to get these people out of the way, so that you have a clean and smooth governance.
That's it. You have lesser problems to deal with. You can't say it was done to non-kinetic. I think this is just semantics, if you ask me. Actually, to say
no, they actually wanted to put it there.
Oh, well,
and they mounted pressure on those people. What kind of pressure?
I understand. You know, this gives me. I can easily remember. I watched the one of these army chiefs, military chiefs in the U.S. has been like 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw some of the things he said about the U.S. And I think it was the defense chief or somebody who said that America, in his own words, might not take arms against you. But the moment you choose to take arms against the state, either as an internal person or as an external person, you won't be the father of your children. That he can promise you. That's how to speak. To say, them, don't do it. We will not come at you. Either it's abduction or insurgency or external aggression or internal aggression. The moment you choose to pick up arms against the state, just know another father, another man will be the father of your children, because you will never return. That is how to be. Let them know that don't dare it. If you dare it, you won't tell the story. Not kinetic, or sorry, not non-kinetic approach.
And probably they didn't dialogue straight up with them. Probably all the things they've been saying in the media, probably they gave threats through the media, and released
one of these days we get to talk with those.
But we just hope.
We make sense of that. Yeah.
All right, so down there, President orders 24-hour aerial watch over Kwara Kebbi Forest. That's just what I was saying. All right. And beside that, Dangote, all right, down to the bottom strip of the paper, Sanwo-Olu proposes 4.237 trillion naira massive investment in 2026.
Lagos with doings. The budget of Lagos actually encapsulate like 5 states' budget, actually. Osho is proposing like 7.750 something. I think Oyo is around that range as well. And I think it's only Kano that has proposed 1 point something, you know. But Lagos with 4.23, that's doing, actually. They call it doings.
All right. And is it billion or trillions?
Trillion.
Someone on is in trillions.
Trillion, that's what I mean.
All right, above the nameplates now. Abbas, abductions orchestrated to create fear in Nigerians. Are you serious?
Who is it telling?
All right. Judges seek to wash hands off pre-poll cases. And then to the side of that, on page 3, 16 banks meet recapitalization requirements. CBN affirms. These headlines right here on the Nation newspaper this morning.
One of those headlines, the President orders 24-hour area watch over Kebbi Forest. Adia said that's not a big deal. I mean, hear me. It's very important, right? And that's the way it should be. But it's not a big deal, because these days you don't. Do you know?
And I was just saying,
you don't need a chopper.
That's
for that.
one thing you need. I mean, if you want to neutralize them without having to engage or do a lot, you can use your aerial networks to do that and drop whatever you want to drop and be out. You don't need to be on ground to do that.
Well,
but I'm not a tactical person. I'm not in the military or with a security agency. But we're saying that. What kind of non-kinetic approach did you engage in? So those are our questions. We're confused. We need someone to come make light. And it will have to come from the government. And just like you said.
Actually, and the point I was making these days, area surveillance is no more a big deal. You don't need a big helicopter, a big chopper to do that. That's why we have drones everywhere. And there are even military-grade drones, actually. So that surveillance will be the first part. And if you see danger, and then you deploy the military thing. So it's not like, oh, we'll be watching it, and so it's a big deal. You have not done any big deal.
And those are battery-powered drones, though. We have AI-powered ones, too. Well, you could use whatever. Technology has really, okay, well, maybe those are some of the equipments we're awaiting from the U.S. government.
All right, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune for today. Something similar. Tinubu orders area surveillance of Kwara and Niger Kebbi Forest. Please, they should extend it to everywhere that has forest in this nation, because there is a way these criminals run around. The moment they are getting pressure
I think that
from somewhere, they move to the other side and wreak havoc.
We're still not getting it right.
Right.
We put a lot of how would I put it, importance on states that have already been attacked. You cannot just stay on states that have been attacked. Yes, you don't know where else the heat will go.
That's why it doesn't mean that
be total. The heat is there already. You should know by operation they will not go back there in this period. They will go elsewhere. They will go elsewhere.
Those guys don't care.
All right, I was just saying that we've heard of Nasarawa, we've heard of Abia. Where else do you think they'll go? I mean, they've not returned to Niger, they've not returned to Kebbi. Yes, there has been another in
I think we are saying the same thing in different ways.
Yes.
Let other states
cover every other state.
Yeah.
That's it.
But the fact that they can't always go to the same place.
No, that's not my point. I'm saying that they will know that your attention will be on these states now. Right. That's not where they will come at you again. There will be reprisals, and it's going to come from another angle. Much like the Bible said about a back-end force now. They will come from another angle.
Let the surveillance be total. I think that's the point.
All encompassing.
Yeah, but those guys, they have defied the military to show that they can always come back and come back. So let everywhere be under surveillance. Tinubu orders area surveillance of Kwara, Niger, Kebbi Forest. Again, bandits attack Kwara community. That's the point. Abduct 11 residents. State government seeks set up safer Kwara security committee to curtail breaches, and 10 kidnapped in Kano border communities. Motekun commences patrol of boarding schools in Undo, right? And 24 kidnapped Kebbi schoolgirls regain freedom, right? That's good to know. But let those abductions be prevented. Sanwo-Olu present, 4.2 trillion 2026 appropriation bill to Lagos Assembly, and CBN retains monetary policy rate at 27%. And the health skin lightening product use is high in children under 2 years in Nigeria study. And I dare say yes, because I've had conversations with people who just want their children to light up, even when it is possibly that's not the real complexion. The thing is not just about the skin lightening, which is horrific, actually. Let children be children. Can we please do that? Let them be children. Maintain their innocence. Well, if you go to whatever, those things that are called children parties, end of the year school, end of the school year, children parties, there are some dressings or pressure, burdens put on children just because their mother likes it. And I dare say these things are women issues, actually. And I can say it with all sense of responsibility because the man might not even be at that party. And even if it's there, you know how these things work. And this is not demonizing women, but you see a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old wearing a wig. What's going on? 5-year-old with makeup. I've seen children with nails. I mean, these cortex nails. What's going on? Can they be children just because the mother wants a glow-up photo shoot? Let's do better. And some of these skin lightening products can be cancerous as well. So please,
that's just the whole thing.
Let the children be children. HID Awolowo dialogue. Stakeholders call for domestication of national gender policy, want gender equality, women participation in policies to be addressed. Dialogue designed for next generation of women leaders. Awolowo Dosunmu and Ogun Deputy Governor calls for stronger institutional support, and of course at that meeting, you see the keynote speaker, the picture there, just up there, Professor Olabisi Aino, the Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, Barrister Hanatu Musa, the convener of HID Awolowo Foundation Dialogue, Ambassador Dr. Olatokunbo Awolowo Dosunmu, Dr. Toyosi Akerele Ogunseje, the chairman of HID Awolowo Foundation Dialogue Chairman, Senator Daisy Danjuma, Vice President of the Senate of Cote d'Ivoire, Dr. Chantal Fani, and Senator Lady Uche Ekunife during the HID Awolowo Foundation Dialogue held at Awolowo residence, Ikene, Ogun State. And kidnapping. NUT threatens nationwide shutdown of schools. NUT is the Nigerian Union of Teachers. And Catholic bishops warn against rising abuse in Sharia Hizbah operations. And I think that will be all from the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, now we move to Vanguard newspaper. And the headline says, abductions, Tinubu orders 24-hour aerial surveillance on Kwara, Kebbi, Niger forests. Lots of riders there. Over 20 abducted in fresh Kwara attack. Governor Idris receives 25 abducted Kabi schoolgirls. So it's 25 here. It's 24 in some places. About 23 in others. All right. Parents of abducted Niger students plead for rescue. NET threatens withdrawal of teachers from classrooms over attacks. Halt kidnappings, prosecute perpetrators. UN tells federal government. Why security agencies can't bomb bandits enclaves. All right. That's according to presidents. I think one of our questions there has been answered. Why it cannot be bombed. All right. And you can see the abducted Kebbi schoolgirls that were released right here. They are here. Some of the 24 released schoolgirls from Government Girls Secondary School, Maga, Kebbi State, as they regained their freedom yesterday. Okay, Sanwo-Olu presents 4.237 trillion naira budget for 2026. That's on page 10 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. And right there, we can see this here saying Nigeria's high-level insecurity worrisome. That's coming from Catholic bishops. All right, that's coming from the world of sports. Galatasaray may stop Osimhen from playing in AFCON. Then that's on page 36. Insecurity, RAPs, protests, rising attacks. That's on page 8 as well. And moving to the top strip, it says here, Task Systems, Nigeria tech firm celebrated in USA with Microsoft's Best Partner Award. All right, that's another. Okay, until the top strip, it says CBN retains monetary policy rate at 27. Those headlines coming through Vanguard this morning.
And quick one from the Punch. Kidnapping spree escalates as federal government negotiates hostages' freedom. Maybe the Punch is calling it what it is. Kidnapping spree escalates as federal government negotiates hostages' freedom. With a rider, 18 mothers, children, others abducted in fresh Kano Kwara raids. Kebbi girls freed. Federal government defends negotiations with bandits. And below that, the picture of the governors of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the presentation of the 2026 appropriation bill for Lagos State. And CCB plans digital asset declaration to curb corruption. 2027, I will stop rigging, vote buying, Amopiton vows. I'm sure there are some individuals that will tell Mr. Amopiton, please, maybe you should do more than talk. You know, do more. Let it be more action, or let it be, you know, discreet.
Many of his predecessors.
Because the moment you have been saying these things,
I've said more than that.
And the more you say these things, the more the average callous Nigerian politician will be looking for ways to circumvent whatever you want to do. And 7-year single term will stabilize governance. Really? Because many persons have been calling for that single term 10 years. The bad side is this: if there is an administration in which the leadership is a disaster for that 7 years, because they know they won't come back again, that means the nation has to grapple with that 7 years of carnage.
It's a no-brainer.
Well,
it shouldn't be.
Maybe, but do you know? Well, I think today is not the time for that.
Analysts, you know, to help us make sense.
Well, there are some things that we can, there are some things we can do from our end here. The day, I think for me, as we hit the brakes right now, the day that the National Assembly will come right, wake up to its patriotic constitutional responsibility, I think we have an 8 way. Any nation that doesn't have a functional check and balance system that is free for all, the National Assembly or check and balance system, the people that are supposed to be, responsible for that are already in bed with the executive. There is nothing that can come out of that. In fact, you go to a National Assembly that are supposed to be of a serious business. We are singing on your Mondays, we shall stand. You go to the meeting that's supposed to be for benchers.
Notes, yeah.
You know what happened a week ago? And they are singing on your Monday, we shall stand. And you see some jurists there smiling. And you know, something
single
is not. Every single statement, every single paragraph from the man in charge, then you know we are not ready. Well, we'll take a quick break right now. when we come back, we speak to issues. The Nigerian state has been trying to intervene in some private criminal matters because of the persons involved. Is that about brotherhood, justice, or privilege? All those questions will be answered after now. Stay with us.